Hit that button.
Oh, look. I found out how not to be so bright on my face.
There's actually 4 people waiting for us on the YouTube.
Hey! 4 people? My gosh.
Yeah.
They're, I
Steven
hope that they're not expecting an actual show,
Steven has actually
those 4 people.
commented to like and subscribe on the
Hey, awesome.
yeah. So I think we have 3 subscribers on the YouTube, the brand new GudeLaurance YouTube channel right now.
I didn't know there was a YouTube channel.
Well, it's basically, it's the YouTube channel associated with the official email for the show, Ben's email at yahoo.com at gmail.com. None of the
Nice.
none of the GudeLaurance videos are there. It's just, and I'm not going to put any of them there. Everybody who knows us knows who I am, and all the GudeLaurance videos
There
are
should
on my
be
channel, so
there should be a link saying, "Hey, if you want to see GudeLaurance's old videos, go to Ben's channel," with a link to your channel.
they'll figure it out. Hey, Paul, how's it
Uh,
going?
hey, Ben, it's going all right.
Good.
So, let me see. I can't talk a lot about what I did today, because it has hints to my job.
Right.
But I took care of a lot of job stuff today.
Good for you,
Things
because
that were causing problems.
it is a weekday and it's a work day.
Yes, indeed. And I am very happy to not be working now and instead to be talking to you,
Yeah.
as we sometimes do. For those of you who are just joining us, Ben and I have a free-flowing, rambling conversation every week that lasts an hour and doesn't have a lot of, I was going to say, appeal to anyone. That's not what I mean, though.
Well, I mean, yeah, that to a sense, that's correct. I mean, we didn't start this to set out to do anything or to, because we had a message. We set out to do this because it's fun talking, and that's why we're doing
Yeah,
this.
and if any of you are fans of the GudeLaurance performance art that we did at Spin the Bottle for a long time, we do talk about it sometimes.
Yeah.
But you could also think of this as the longest running GudeLaurance bit, because the whole reason that we started doing this up again. This is the story. Anyway, there are so many reasons. Of course, the main reason is so that I can talk to Ben. And setting this up makes it, because lots of times you're like, oh yeah, we should get together. My friend Chris Adrian, I ran into him 2 weeks ago. I think I talked about it here. He now lives near the same city where I am. And I was like, yeah, we should see each other. I haven't talked to him since. My fault.
That sounds like a very Seattle
COVID.
thing to do. Oh yeah, we should
exactly.
get lunch, and then nothing after that.
Yeah, exactly. Troy Lund, a good friend of mine, friend of the show. He and I went to college together, good friends. Ran into each other like maybe once or twice a year for the time that I was in Seattle. Every time we saw each other, it was great, and we're like, hey, we should do this more often, but we never really did. It's at least a very Seattle thing. Maybe other places are like that, especially, again, now that everyone does lockdown stuff. Oh, by the way, Ben.
Yeah.
You know how I'm keeping you apprised of all the different issues that are happening with the schools around here.
Yeah, I feel very informed.
The kindergarten through 12th graders now also are going remote. So for those of you who have not been paying attention to the goings on in District 7 in Southern Illinois, there's a large contingent of parents who wanted the kids to go back to school full time.
Yeah.
And so they started doing that, and right when they started doing that, I'm painting people with a broad brush. I'll put that out there. The people that wanted their kids to go back to school were the same people who weren't oftentimes they weren't following the social distancing rules,
Or wearing
and
masks.
so reap the whirlwind, all that kind of stuff. Now, no one can go to school live because they went maskless in public a lot and went over to Missouri and ate over there. And this is all, I haven't done a scientific study. It's just what I've observed.
It's the same thing over here. In fact, we just Governor Inslee just instituted new lockdown measures where there's no more in-restaurant dining. Gyms are now closed again. Stores have reduced capacity to 25%. And I saw someone online saying, if these new lockdown measures really pull back your social calendar or affect the way you've been living your life, you're the reason why we have to go back into lockdown.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a big bulletin board. What are they called? Big bulletin board. The thing on the side of the road that has an advertisement on it. For Billboard. Yeah, that's the word I'm trying to think of. There's a big billboard for Republican gubernatorial candidate Lauren Culp. Around on Elliott Bay here. He was the he's got a really interesting story. I'm not going to try to say it now, but
his name is Lauren.
Lauren,
like Lauren Michaels.
Loren. Just the last two letters are switched.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Anyway, there's a billboard that says it was a campaign billboard, and it says under Governor Inslee, masks will be permanent. He was the anti-mask candidate. And he was the lone city cop in a city in Eastern Washington. He was the sheriff, and he lost his job after the election. So not only did he lose the election, he lost the job. And the thinking goes that he was gone so much campaigning that the city council decided that they didn't even need him there.
Yep, that's a problem.
Funny story, he is yet to concede.
Oh, hey, speaking of yet to concede, I still don't know how things are going. But my guess is that until we get to January, things will just be in flux.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Also, Steven's on the chat, and he says I've skipped half of Lauren Culp's platform. I don't really know all of his platform. Anti-mask, pro-gun, no government.
Oh,
that kind of guy.
So basically, where I grew up.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. That kind of stuff really works. And I know I've said this on the podcast before, but it's true. That kind of stuff really works when your nearest neighbor is an eighth of a mile away.
Right.
Live and let live, do whatever you want, that kind of thing. If your bullets can't reach my house, everybody's fine. Pretty much. But, it is a problem if there's a member of your household that is causing trouble to yourselves. You have, a 25-minute wait before any services will come and help you. So,
right.
That's a little weird. Now, something Jennifer brought up to me that I just found out about. Apparently, the police don't have to help you. There's a Supreme Court ruling that, and maybe, I don't know if Steven knows this or can shed more light on it, but apparently, the serve and protect thing is not necessarily a mandate.
It's more of a guideline.
Well, the idea is that if they know that there's a credible threat to your life, they don't have to do anything. They don't have to help you. They can, but they're not liable if something happens to you. Which I guess, sort of makes sense. Otherwise, people would be suing the police all the time whenever someone dies.
In police custody or just in general?
No, just in general. You didn't get here and help me.
Steven
what are
says
you doing?
that's been argued in court that there's no requirement for a police officer to render aid, and I've actually heard anecdotally during the protests here in Seattle where there's been an issue and the cops have been like, "What do you want me to do about it?"
Well, I mean, the story that I love to tell because it happened and was one of the most shocking things I've witnessed in my life. Granted, I've never been to a war, all this kind of stuff, grain of salt, but was seeing a college student pick another college student up and slam him down on the asphalt outside of the gym when their two fraternities were having a dance together, and then there was a fight between the fraternities.
Hell of a dance.
And I walked down the hill from the gym to where there were two police officers standing there watching this fight happening. I'm like, aren't you guys going to do anything? And they're like, what do you want us to do? And I said, well, what are you going to do? And they're like, we're going to wait until they tire themselves out, and then we're going to go and arrest whoever's still standing.
Sounds like a solid plan.
Thing. If you get into a brawl between two fraternities, Ben, stay down, and you should hopefully be okay.
Like they're a grizzly bear, and you just have to play dead.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
So earlier before the show, I showed you my newest purchase. It is a Boss 505 looper, and the story behind this is I did my research. It is the thing that does all the stuff that I want, basically.
And what is that? What does that include?
It does. Okay, so it makes loops, right? And you can overdub on a loop however many times you want.
Right.
And so if you think about it that way, each of the different loops, there's 5 loop channels in all, 5. Each of the loop channels could be a part of a song, basically. And so I did a test with 7 Nation Army, and it worked out really, really well. Now, the one thing is, of course, that I need something to record these off to afterwards. And it just so happens that the handheld recorder that I bought for the podcast has a multi-track function. So
Chris says that those, Chris, your friend of mine, Chris Nill, says that those are great. That and the Line 6 DDL, I don't know what that is, are basically the best at that. I've seen these.
I don't know what.
I've seen these in on stage. They're pretty popular, and in fact, the first time I ever saw one was at an Andrew Bird concert at the Crocodile. Andrew Bird, oddly enough, by the way, starring in the latest season of Fargo. Who would have thunk it? Along with Chris Rock.
Wait a second. Who is he in Fargo?
He's the dad of He's the dad who owns the funeral home.
Yeah, because I've been watching all of them. I didn't realize that was Andrew Bird.
We're halfway through. We haven't finished it yet, so.
He does a great job. Oh, yeah. No, it's not done yet. There's still 2 more episodes.
Gotcha. Oh, Chris says that it's the green box that Reggie Watts uses. You're a friend of mine, Reggie Watts.
Oh, yeah.
More your friend than mine.
Here's the thing about the difference between me and Reggie Watts, and I know it's very, very, very similar trajectories as far as our hair and facial hair goes.
Yeah.
But also similar body types again. He's been slimming down. I've been getting larger, so we're close. There was a bit I wanted to do for GudeLaurance or with him, whichever one. Never actually did it, but the idea is that we have a something like a screen or a pillar or something on stage where one of us walks behind it, the other one walks out for like 2 seconds, and then walks back, and then the other one comes out again, like a little magic trick kind of thing. But he is a much better musician than I am. And one of the things I liked about the 505 is that there is like quantitization, you can quantize things. Maybe the other one does it too, but I mean, he's really good at timing, so he doesn't mess up when he's doing a loop, whereas I sometimes do.
Yeah.
At least he doesn't mess up.
I was gonna say that he also brings his improvisational skills into his music much more than I think what a lot of people give him credit for. Because if you've seen him like improvise and then and plays music while he's doing it, it's really you wonder how White took as long as it did for him to reach the fame that he has.
Well, and that's the thing, is that he was super famous in Seattle when we were in Seattle.
Oh yeah, everybody knew who he was.
And then now he's nationally famous. So he leveled up.
He did level up. He beat the Seattle boss, and he got into a new level.
There's a guy, and I can't pronounce his last name, and I should be able to, but it's just because I've never said it, and I don't know how to spell it. But his name's Mark, M-A-R-C, and then like Rebel. It's two L's, but I think Rebel. Anyway, he does a very similar kind of looping performance thing and improv stuff. And I've been watching him recently, and he's a very positive-looking guy, a very fun kind of. His teeth are very white, and he has a mustache, and he wears robes. And then he takes the robe off, and he sings about butts. And anyway, interesting guy. And it just so happens that the machine that I bought is the same machine that he uses, which is nice because if ever you know how you've done this before, probably. You watch a guitarist play the guitar, and you're looking at their fingers, trying to figure out what chord it is that they're playing. Same sort of thing. What function of the looper is that person doing?
Right. Going back briefly, I just want to mention this. Going back to when you were talking about the police officers who were going to let the frat boys fight it out. Rick Miller commented that he had a junior high school gym teacher who got fired because he let two boys fight to, quote, work it out like men, and one got badly hurt. Just this, he says... just including this anecdote to illustrate that junior high school gym teachers are held to a higher standard than police officers.
Also, hello to Rick Miller. I have not spoken to Rick in a really long time. I like you, Rick. I don't speak to anyone. I am off of the socials, except for sometimes TikTok. Sometimes Instagram, but it's good to hear your voice as read by Ben.
My interpretation. You know what I came across recently? I came across the script that you and me and Rick wrote, Animals in Pants.
Oh my gosh, Animals in Pants, yeah.
And I reread them, and they were really good. We should still pursue that.
Now, here's the thing, Ben. One of the problems, the reasons that Animals in Pants stalled is because...
It was a cartoon and we weren't cartoonists?
My animation skills were not up to the challenge.
Yeah.
But someone I know makes animated things now off of audio clips that other people do.
Speaking of that, I have homework for you for this thing that I agreed us to do, and I'll talk to you about that offline.
Wait, is it the Christmas thing?
It is the Christmas thing.
Because here's the thing: after you said that, then in one of we had a full Christmas thing that could be animated, and then our work is done.
See, that's what happened. We talked for about 10 minutes about Santa Claus, and I edited it down to about 3.5. And
okay, cool.
And so so we're done. We're done. Well, your part's done. My part's just beginning. But I need you to draw some things for me. Because you're the artist in the family.
Yep. Oh, that was another thing. Speaking of Rick Miller, we were talking to Betty about this, that we know a lot of people who are good at music and also art at the same time. Like there's something in their brains that make them good at both. And Rick's name was the one that came up when we were thinking about that.
Yeah, totally. And also... Rick's bandmate in the Half Brothers, David Nixon, just released a new video on YouTube that's really quite something. He's got a new album out, which is almost uncomfortably personal, and And
Wait,
so
David Nixon doing something almost uncomfortably personal.
I know, right? It's great music, but when you listen to the lyrics, you're like, oh man. But he put out a new album, a new video for a track from that album, and it's. I encourage all of y'all to check it out. I think it's on Vimeo.
I will do so because I like David Nixon. He's a interesting fellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we first started, Chris, we have 5 viewers, which I think is more than
everybody.
actually listen to the show.
I'm telling you, this is what we need to do.
Well, I did follow your request, and I emailed it to the Annex company. You're probably on the company list.
I thought people might like it. This is my dog Edward, by the way, everybody.
When we first started, Chris said they were busy futzing around with my LED panels with the channel open, and all of a sudden there were voices. Glad they were your voices and not imaginary.
Yeah,
I am glad of that too, Chris.
One of my favorite things it was off of the Screaming Jay Hawkins. Screaming Jay Hawkins. Oh, that's nice. Sort of like a Tulix thing. Anyway, Screaming Jay Hawkins has a thing where he's like, "What's that echo?" And then somebody gets on the mic and says, "That's just your imagination, Jay." He's like, "Oh, okay." And then they just keep on going, which is fun. Yeah, having a chat actually makes the show seem to have more of a structure than it normally does.
Well, it's a structure where we start talking, we go on to something else, and then I have to back us up to
yeah, back us up. Do it.
Rick says that he reworked one of the Animals in Pants characters for his latest thing. I am excited to see it.
That would be very, very cool. I didn't even know that there was a latest thing, so yeah. I would...
There was I think it was either you or Rick, it wasn't me, who had animalsinpants.com and sold it at one point because somebody wanted it.
It was not me. I think it was probably Rick. Rick, right. Was that you?
I think that was a group decision because it was a project that all of us were involved in. So
I think there was I do believe that we were asked, "Hey, is it okay if I don't have this?"
This was after we'd probably moved on.
Right, exactly, yeah. You know what I was thinking about just recently was a musical that Rick and I were working on called The Butcher's Revelation. That was a puppet. It was pretty great. I don't know. I don't think I have anything from it before. But yeah. He did again, Rick Miller, talented fella. Is what I would say.
We recorded a bunch of stuff on Mini DV back in the day at the Caution Zero headquarters, and I went and revisited some of that because I know why. Because there was we recorded a stand-up show at Shack, the lower level of Shack, that had Emmett Montgomery in it, and I think Hari Kondabolu was on the bill as well. And I went back to try to find those tapes. And I learned something very important. Mini DV tapes degrade over time. Much faster than you expect. And
I had no idea.
Yeah, so sadly the footage isn't available anymore. So, if you have to all my friends out there, if you have stuff on mini DV tapes just picking up dust in a box, capture that stuff now. Back it up.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I don't know what happened to any of my mini DVDs. I mean, mini DVs. These.
They
tapes.
might have mini DVD, mini DV. Now you got me doing it. Mini
DV tapes, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think I have my recorder anymore. That was an expensive recorder at the time I bought it.
The little Sony Handycam kind of thing?
Yeah. It was little silver.
I think I have that. I think that was in your house.
Oh. Well, there you go.
I don't want it. I mean, I don't need it. I should have brought it out to you. Last time and the only time I visited.
There will always be another chance.
Will there though? We've gone into lockdown again, Paul. In case you haven't heard.
Yeah, true.
Technically, I don't think I'm even allowed to be here.
It's weird. It's possible that at some point in time, I may move. I don't know if it's happening or not, but a lot of it is contingent contingent on where lockdown goes. Because if lockdown stays, then there's no reason for me to be at a different place. Well, except for our family, having someone going from being an elementary school kid to being a teenager and staying in the same place is a little weird. Also, my equipment, Jennifer and I just had a conversation about it. My musical equipment is right now just in the middle of the living room floor.
You don't
which
say.
Isn't the best, yeah. So.
My parents moved in the middle of my high school experience, and fortunately, we didn't move far. I probably told you this. We moved to the next town over. So I convinced my parents to let me go to the same high school for the last 2 years of high school. So I had a 45-minute commute to high school during my junior and senior years.
Were you driving by that point?
Oh yeah, I got my driver's license during my sophomore year. So
yeah,
I had a car and everything. It was great. It was funny because
I lost my driver's license during my senior year, I believe.
My dad who worked past my high school was like, I'll just drive you to school on my way to work and then pick you up on my way home. And after 2 weeks of that, he's like, I'm buying you a car.
Yeah.
I had no complaints. I even got to pick the car.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. Wait, what? Could you describe the car again for those who...
It was a 1979 Mazda GLC station wagon. And when I say pick it, I wasn't like, I couldn't get like a new car. But we went and looked at a bunch of different cars, and my dad was like, would you like this one? I'm like, yeah, I'll drive that.
Did you buy it from a dealer or a private owner?
A dealer.
Yeah.
We actually went and looked at this pretty cool old like '68 Volkswagen Beetle, which would have been a great car for me because reasons I thought of at the time. Now I don't think so much, but I was really digging it. But my dad refused to buy it because he didn't like the transmission. And he was paying for it, so
Germans.
The people's car.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Steven says nobody.
That was
Volkswagen. Nobody.
Right?
Nobody tell Paul that the next lockdown will be national. Yeah, good luck enforcing that.
Oh, hey, guess 20th. What? People, people totally are gonna try. It's gonna be fine.
I'm sort of looking forward, but not looking forward to the stories where anti-maskers get together for Thanksgiving and then 2 weeks later totally regret it because grandma's in the hospital.
We were gonna get together with my parents, my local parents.
Yeah.
That's what I started saying instead of biological. My local parents were gonna get together, but Betty rightfully was like, "Hey guys, do you think that's really necessary?" So we're just going to Skype with them instead.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like my dad is going to be 80, so I don't want to be the one that gives it to him if he gets it.
Yeah, both my parents are 70. They're each 70.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I saw them recently. I actually did. My dad had a knee replacement about a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
And
I remember this.
Yeah, so I went and got tested and then quarantined, so I could be down there helping out. Still wore masks around my parents. But he's back at work. It was like, it's amazing how fast you can recover from a complete knee replacement.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to be cyborgs forever now. It'll be faster and faster.
Although if you have both knees replaced at the same time, it's probably a different story.
Yeah, that's a good point. My dad, as you said, going to be 80, painted a barn without me, which is fine. I'm not upset about it. But he's like, yeah, we could have painted the roof of the barn, but it's going to get cold. Now the days are a little bit warmer, but I'm telling myself, for his safety, I'm not going to help him paint the barn.
That's probably a good idea.
Is an excuse. Yeah, it is. Also, but the other question I have, Ben, is: are there any other chat things that have come through?
Yeah. Rick Miller says, "Hi, Paul, miss you." Steven called out.
Thanks, Rick.
Ninja Exterminators.
Oh yeah, still so good.
Yeah. Rick says that it was you who had the domain Animals and Pants and sold it.
What? I can't believe. Oh my God, what happened to that money?
Steve, it probably wasn't for a lot. It was, I doubt you sold it for
Yeah.
thousands. Steven says, I am allowed in the theater. I am here by myself, so it's probably
Yeah,
okay.
there you go.
And Chris says that 2020 is the year of Schadenfreude.
Oh yeah. Well, depending on how you live your life, every year can be the year of Schadenfreude. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see right now. We're still in that phase of, I don't want to say the kick dog phase, but we're still in the thing of like, nothing good happens. This is going to be, the election thing or whatever is going to be dumb, and people are going to be dumb, and everybody's going to be stupid, and somebody's going to shoot somebody, all that stuff. We just think that it's going to be interesting to see what happens when and if the last 4 years fade a little bit and we start being hopeful about stuff again. I'm really interested to see what that's going to look like.
What is that going to look like? I don't know what that's going to look like, but speaking of Thanksgiving and killing grandma, there was a public official. I don't know who it was at the time or right now. Tell us in the comments who this was. This guy basically said, your grandparents probably are gonna die anyway, so might as well have Thanksgiving. And
wow.
And so Rick Miller says in the chat, holiday get-together tip: make sure grandma writes down her recipe for pie since she won't be around next year to bake it after you give her COVID.
Yeah. Hey, speaking about baking stuff, Jennifer Pratt, my wife, Jennifer Pratt, Jennifer Fact Checker, today made injera for Ethiopian food.
I saw the pictures on the Facebook.
Cookies and loaves of bread, all in one day. Pretty amazing. The injera part is weird. I mean, that stuff was like magic to me when we went to the Ethiopian places for it. It's like, where does this come from? Well, it comes from that, what she did.
Yeah, when they were pictures of them rolled up, they kind of look like taquitos or something. I thought she'd made like
sort of like crepes also.
Yeah.
In fact, that's she was saying that it's very similar. So interesting. The one segment that we normally do that we can do now, really quick, is Paul gonna guess the news.
Paul gonna guess the news.
Is there anything happening in the news right now that I should know about?
That's not connected to the election. I have no idea. That's all that's on in the feeds these days is stuff connected to the election.
I know something, and I know that somebody who is in the chat knows about it. And I just know this through osmosis, but didn't people go from Earth to the space station in a Tesla thing?
SpaceX had a successful launch
with people, right?
Yeah, but didn't they do that earlier this year? Wasn't that already a thing?
Can someone let us know why this was different? And was it different?
So Steven initially just said OMG. Tesla thing in quotes. Tesla thing.
Yeah. I corrected it a little bit.
I'm sure he'll school us more. Yeah, the funny thing about the news these days is that it's only like how our current president is refusing to concede, and all of these lawsuits in different states are failing. And there was a news conference that Rudy Giuliani gave earlier today, and everybody was making fun of him. And I'm gonna try to guess, have you guess why. So Giuliani is giving a press conference, and he is sweating profusely, but that isn't the issue. But it's connected to that. So what happens when Rudy Giuliani is sweating profusely at this press conference?
Okay. Just top of my head, his glasses fall off. Like he moves his head and his glasses fall off.
No, that didn't happen.
Okay. Lifts up his arms. He's got big pit stains. No.
It is connected to his hair.
His toupee fell off?
No, but let's see.
He doesn't wear one, though.
Giuliani's an older guy, but he's got really dark hair. What happened when he started sweating profusely?
Oh, no. Did his sweat, like, turn to dye because the hair dye that he had?
His hair dye started going down his face like that.
No.
It looks really terrible. And, it doesn't have to do that. I'm the last one to make fun of somebody because of their looks, or like, for things they do for vanity reasons. But like, get a napkin or something, Rudy.
Yeah, well, or dye it, like, use an actual dye, a hair. Well, yeah, I don't know. Sorry, as soon as you said that, I started looking at, so my hair is, I remember one time you and I were walking around in Ballard and water dripped from a gutter or a pipe or something like that, and it hit me right on the top of my head, right around here, and I felt it on my scalp, and I'm like, why did that happen? And I realized it's because my hair is thinning right here. And so all the time I'm looking at it, and I got this white part here. All these things telegraphing that I have become older than I normally am.
I got a haircut.
Oh, yeah.
On Sunday, and every time I go, I get a...
Show like this.
Yeah.
Hey, nice.
And every time...
Hey, looking good, Ben.
Every time I go get a haircut, I see more and more gray hairs on the apron that they give you.
Yep.
I probably would have a gray in my beard, but I don't let it get long enough to actually see that.
I feel like whenever I look at this stuff, I'm like, this is maybe how Mutton Chop started. There was a guy who was like, oh, I'm just going to shave this part off. For a while, I had just this. Did you see it when I had that? I just had this little white bit here and shaved the rest of it off. Couldn't stand it. Didn't like it.
Didn't not have seen that.
Yeah, it would have been like 2 months ago, maybe, something like that.
So
anyway, beard is coming back.
Lots of SpaceX and Rudy Giuliani talk in the chat.
Yeah. Read it off.
Steven is very triggered.
No. Steven, I didn't mean it.
Rick says it's the privatization of NASA, and then Steven goes on. He says the last flight was Demo 2. It was a test flight. Demo 1 was entirely autonomous and manned. This flight was Crew 1, the first official operational flight of the Crew Dragon vehicle. In a victory for equality, an astronaut on Demo 2 is married to an astronaut on Crew 1. So that's all the SpaceX chatter. Did you see the I guess it was Demo 2 when the two astronauts, Bob and Doug, by the way, the McKenzie brothers, went up on Demo 2, and they showed the inside of the capsule, and it's like Apple designed it. It was very modern looking. I think everything was a touch screen. Lots of like white probably composite material, but white surfaces with dark touch screens. I think a touch screen in space might not be the best idea. When I'm driving and I try to like touch a specific spot on my phone, I can't guarantee where my finger's gonna land. So you don't want to hit the wrong button on an iPad when you're in space.
That's a good point. I like everything being mechanical, not even electronic, just levers and that's the smartest thing, I think, as much as you can. But it's space, so who knows?
Yeah. Going back to Rudy's hair dye. Rick says he probably did have pit stains, but it wasn't the issue. Steven says, it's a shame that Rudy's hair dye distracted people from his attempts to destabilize the nation and establish further a white ethno-state.
I'm sorry, that's not. I'm laughing because what else can you do?
There was basically, I think Rudy has. It was either Rudy or Trump went up to a federal judge in Pennsylvania and just blatantly said, "Look, throw out all the votes and just award us Pennsylvania." Like for no basis whatsoever to do that. Just like
wow,
they just asked.
Yeah.
That's all they did.
Well, I mean, you gotta. This is a point that I always try to make. And I think I talked to Steven about this too. If you're in the world of technology and somebody asks you to do something, they're like, "Hey, we need you to do something." If you think to yourself, "Oh, that won't work because of this, 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 and this," instead of doing that, all you have to do is say, "I can do that for you, but I'm going to need this, 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 and this." Let them say no. They probably will, but they might say yes, in which case, you can expand your footprint and do cool things. So saying no is, you're doing their work for them at that point in time. And they're going to get mad at you because they want you to do the thing. So tell them what you need to do in order to do the thing. TED Talk.
Good advice. Steven says the crew isn't really necessary. The craft can be piloted remotely. Yeah.
But you got to have people to do something.
You got to risk human lives for some reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris says gray hair is the cool thing with the kids these days.
It's true. Kids love it.
20 is the new 70.
They're buying it online with their TikTok dollars and they
their Instagram credits.
Them. Exactly. That's right. They just have bags of gray hair all over their dorm rooms.
It's not that they artificially color their hair gray. They just go around and find people with gray hair and steal
That's exactly right.
And glue it onto their own heads.
Yeah, or even like they stuff a chair with it. All sorts of it's a weird subculture. I don't really want to get into it, but let's just say that this might be coming off at some point in time if I need some extra scratch, as they call it.
Exactly.
And when I said this, I'm indicating my beard,
not your chin,
for the listener,
not your whole jaw.
That's right. Yeah, my jaw is still pretty much red. Every once in a while, I'll catch a little tint of red in my hair, and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool," because I forget. I think that it's brown, and then I realize it's mostly brown, but there's a little bit of interesting stuff in there.
Was your hair a different color when you were a kid? My hair was blonde when I was a kid.
My hair was also blonde when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I feel like this is going to be a sort of a weird thing to say, but because I was adopted by the German family, I feel every once in a while like they got suckered into into getting the blonde-haired kid that then turned out to be a lemon eventually.
We want to return this. Sorry, the warranty period is over. Paul is yours now. Yeah.
He's not even going to help me paint a roof. What good is he? That kind of thing. It's not going to happen. But I feel like we've talked about this before. If my dad ever, for whatever reason, listened to the podcast, so many apologies for characterizing him unfairly as a taskmaster or...
Yeah, but you also you've also said that he was like a covert ops spy or something. I
still think that's a possibility.
I mean that's cooler. That's a badge of honor to wear if your kid has those perceptions about you.
All that I'm saying is that the spies that I have met share some similarities with him.
The spies that you have met have been terrible spies in that case.
Exactly. I still love. That's one of my favorite stand-up things is that I talked to my friend and he was bragging about how he's a spy for the government. I said, what are you talking about? You're an idiot. And he's like, oh, you just can't be picky about which government. And if I am sitting across from someone who is reviewing any sort of my credentials for any sort of a sensitive thing, and you bring up that's a joke someone else said, I love America.
So. Well, hopefully nobody will use this podcast in your performance review for another job with the U.S. government. Well, like we said, it's only a matter of time until you can instantaneously do word searches on podcasts.
Right, exactly. So,
or phrases.
Obviously, my biggest flaw is I care too much. So, yeah. My neck does this thing now where it pops every time I do this. I gotta wait another 5 minutes and then it'll do it again. Maybe something I should go to the doctor for. I don't know.
Does it
sort of
hurt?
Hurts too.
Okay.
A little bit, but not enough for me to really want to go to the doctor.
Well, as your doctor, I'll give you this advice: don't do that.
Oh yeah, hey, I'm telling everybody. So let's see. What's the other feature that we do, Ben? I forget.
We review a past performance.
Ah, yes, and this is great because somebody here may have seen it.
Or may have even stage managed.
Ah, yeah, good point,
we got McCandless on the line. Hey, Edward.
Hey, Steven. So, what
should we do that? I got to pull it up. This is one of the few things I allow myself to look for when we do the show.
Yeah, it's smart.
What was the last thing we talked about? Do you remember?
Oh, boy, no. Throw out some and I can tell you if we've talked about it yet or not. Maybe.
Was it Foxy Proxy? I know we did talk about that.
Foxy Proxy, we did Foxy Proxy. We did talk about it. That might have been it. What's the one after that?
Let's see. Well, here's the thing. We're getting into non-Spin the Bottle stuff. Do we want to talk about our performances outside of Spin the Bottle?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. This is a repeat. We don't need to go too much into this. On September 17th, 2004, we revisited our deconstructing improv bit for Sketchfest Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
It was for
that's a favorite of mine.
Yeah, it was for sure. Their late night alternative cabaret called Push. I believe this was either at the lower level at Shack or in the Erickson. I can't remember where.
Really? Okay, so wait a second.
Might have even been at THA. Yeah.
It was. Theater off Jackson.
So here's one. October 31st, 2004. We did a performance called The LaGrucci Brothers for Annex Theater's Ghosty at ACT Theater.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yes. So I remember we were backstage for a long time.
we were in a room that nobody knew about. There was like the Bullet Cabaret, but then there was like a storage room across the hallway where it was you and me, and I think Jennifer and probably one other person, but very few of the audience came into our room. I remember that much.
Oh, so we weren't even okay. This is just my memory.
It wasn't backstage. It was where they put us.
Yeah. I think at the time I knew that we weren't backstage, but that's just how I remembered it. I just remember us being alone for a really long time.
Because if you know ACT Theater, if you know the Bullet Cabaret, it's a very grand, ornate space, and it was perfect for this sort of production. And then we're in this fluorescently lit rehearsal room.
I want to say the walls might have been green
or blue, something like that.
Yeah.
I have pictures from it.
I believe those are good pictures for sure.
I think we were made up to look like ghosts. Our story was that we died in a fire playing music in a cabaret. So we, I think I was playing the baritone ukulele, and I think you had a squeeze box. or a
Yeah,
washboard. I
believe,
can't remember what you
I
had.
believe that. No, yeah, I want to say it was
Concertina.
I think Jillian Jorgensen has that squeeze box now. I think.
Yeah.
Or she had it at one point in time.
Maybe.
But yeah, or either that or I know that I had the other accordion. So there's a concertina that was. It might have been the accordion, actually. Might
have been. I'll have to go back and look at the pictures. I wonder if I have any pictures.
Hey, speaking of, I wonder if I have any pictures. Hey, Betty!
Oh, I do have a picture on the page, and yeah, you have the full-on accordion, not the concertina.
Hey, I was right.
Yeah.
Betty! So that's something else that listeners to the show will remember is that I'll say like 5 different things, and then if one of the things I say is one of those 5 things, I go, see, I was right. It's a little trick that I picked up from being a narcissist.
Also,
hey, Betty!
Cole Hornaday has joined us on the chat.
Hey, Cole. Okay, so here's the deal, peoples. Betty is here for the Yelling for Betty segment, but Betty, this is being streamed.
Oh, cool.
These are the people.
Hello.
It's Ben, but the people you can't see the people, but the people are looking at us.
There's at least
over here.
6.
Right.
He says there are at least 6 people.
Oh, now there's 7.
Woo.
Now there's 7. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So Betty, what's been going on?
Nothing really. I was about to play some Minecraft with some of my online friends before you called for me. So.
Would you like to go back to your online friends to play some Minecraft?
Well, if you have anything to ask me, that'd be all right.
Oh yeah. Hey Ben, do the people in the chat have anything that they would like Betty to answer?
No, but give them 30 seconds while this actually gets streamed out. But Blair does say that she loves the pink hair, Betty.
Blair says that she loves your pink hair.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, says Betty.
So if you have any questions for a 14-year-old, put them in the chat. In the meantime...
Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I just... oh, okay. Hey, Betty. So where did you meet your Minecraft friends?
Well, it's a pretty interesting story. I go on this little app thingy called Ponytown sometimes, which is basically, kind of like a My Little Pony thing where you can make your own little guy and hang out.
Okay.
And I was at the JoJo place because there's a JoJo place.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Betty's favorite anime.
Then, my favorite anything, really.
Yeah.
And then there was this one person who was the same person as I was, and I was like, "Hey, look, it's my twin." And we goofed around a bit, and they gave me their Discord, and then they gave me a link to their server. I joined their server. Now I
to their Minecraft server.
To their Discord server.
Oh, see.
And then
all the kids are using Discord.
Then we and then I hung out in the voice chat for a little bit, and I found new people.
Nice.
Right on. We do have some questions coming in.
Okay, here are some questions.
Before that, I just want to say that watching Betty grow up, she is a perfect combination of you and Jennifer. It's amazing how much that she has both of your qualities.
Ben says that you're an amazing combination of me and Jennifer.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
Cole asks, what creative things are you doing with your time while you are sequestered?
What creative things are you doing with your time while you're sequestered?
During quarantine.
Well, I go online sometimes. Sometimes I watch videos on YouTube. Sometimes I listen to music. And sometimes I draw, but only sometimes.
So that would be drawing.
Chris asks, Do you watch Twitch? And if so, who is your favorite streamer?
Do you watch Twitch?
No, I don't have it.
No, she doesn't have it.
All right.
Fair enough.
Wait. Who's your favorite TikToker, though?
Mud consumer.
A person who eats
consumer.
mud?
Yeah, she's nodding. So I guess so.
You should check him out.
All right.
Shout out to Mud Consumer.
Chris also says that JoJo is great, so another JoJo fan in the chat.
Chris says that JoJo is great.
Great.
Yeah, Steven asks, and I don't know if I should really ask this, but what does Betty think about 4chan or 8chan?
Okay, do you have any thoughts about 4chan or 8chan?
Well, all I know about it is that it's a website full of, people who post things about, different things like stories and scary stuff. But there are a lot of bad people on there too. People who, talk about murder, people who do drugs, people who live in horrible living conditions. So.
Gotcha. So you don't really participate?
Yeah, I don't.
That's probably for the best. Steven says, I'll point out that the combination of Paul and Jennifer was the frame of my speech at Paul and Jennifer's wedding celebration at Theater Off Jackson.
Betty doesn't remember, but
no.
Yeah.
No, she wouldn't. Yeah, those are all the questions. People, there's another +1 for the pink hair. And
nice.
Yeah, Steven likes pink hair. So, yeah, that's
Okay. So let's talk about something really quick while Betty's here.
okay.
They say only 90s kids will remember.
Right.
They say 90s kids remember. When people say that, do you count yourself as a 90s kid or do you think of yourself as an 80s kid?
I'm more of an 80s kid.
Betty, are you what kind of a kid are you? An aughts kid? Or are you a
2000s kid?
2000s kid. Okay, because here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Someone pointed out that lots of people who say that they're 90s kids were born in the 90s and that doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I think that Betty being an aughts kid makes some sense because she...
More of a 2010s kid.
Yeah, see, there you go. 2010s. More of a 2010s kid.
Hey, can I go back?
Yes, of course you can. Hey, say bye to people.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Nice.
I was in the 90s. I was 4 to 14, so that's definitely kid territory.
I think Steven will back me up on this. The Yelling for Betty segment is much more successful when people are actually talking to her.
Well, and I've said this before. It was only a matter of time until she got tired of us, and these segments were getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah, but a lot of it does happen that she shows up and then we talk about something else and don't actually talk to her.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't actually know when she's in the room, so I'll keep talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cole is a fan of the drawing. He appreciates people drawing. Steven thinks she should get headphones so she could hear what we were saying.
Oh, yeah. Can you actually link two Bluetooth devices to the same source?
I have no idea. I don't see why not. But I've never tried that.
Yeah, if you could, then I could put her in. I've never tried it either, but it seems to make sense.
If you have wired headphones, you can use a headphone splitter. You and your fancy Bluetooth.
Wired headphones. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, Ben, it looks like it's about that time.
Yeah. Well, we have 2 minutes. Do you see the blinking there behind me?
Oh, okay. No.
I moved our network our one of our router hubs, so it's right there.
Oh, I see it now. Yeah. My phone doesn't have a lot of contrast on it, I guess, or whatever. I see it now, though. Now that you pointed out. So
switch.
I feel like as an experience, this was better for the people who were involved. But how will it be for the listener? That's the question.
The listener won't be able to see the chat, but I think we did a good job of making this a very non-visual experience. And who knows? We'll do this, every Thursday for schedules permitting. Next Thursday is actually Thanksgiving.
So what do we want to do as far as that? I have Friday off. If you want to.
Yeah, we'll do Friday.
Do it same time on Friday?
Same time on Friday, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going anywhere for Thanksgiving, but I'm not going to be here.
Yeah. And we're not going anywhere either, but we're going to have, family stuff.
Right.
In the house. I think we're making ribs.
I think we're having pizza.
Yeah.
Thanks, pizza. Or we're going to order something from, that was the thing, that's right. We're ordering food from a local restaurant because you gotta support your local restaurants.
Yeah, we do that. We do that too. We try our best. So, awesome. Well, thank you everyone for showing up. This is probably the most anyone's listened to our show. I appreciate it.
We have 6 people now. The most we had was 7. So for everybody who watched and who stayed with us, thank you. For that one person that left.
And yeah, as Ben mentioned, you can write to us at bensemail@yahoo.com, at gmail.com. It sounds confusing, and that's because it is.
It's on purpose.
Yeah. And we didn't have anybody write in. I just want to make sure.
No, nobody wrote in today.
Okay. That's a reoccurring bit. Did anyone write in today? Someday it might take over the entire show. We'll see. So thanks everybody for watching. Until next time, keep it wrong.
Paul, I hope you keep it wrong too, and I'll talk to you later.
Ben, I ask you to please, please, please keep it wrong, and I will see you next week.